breaking news about our film opening and how it conforms to a slasher genre. In research that I did, I found that the common conventions of a slasher film is for it to contain gore scenes and death in our opening. In my genre deconstruction of Young Blood, as is their use of gore. In our film opening, we include gore and death scenes, for example, a stabbing scene where we used food colouring, food gel, fake blood, and even real animal blood. As you can see on the right, I decorated the knife with food colouring gel to conform to our genre by using gore, as the killer pulls out the bloody knife after he stabs his victim. We also decided to use food colouring gel on Lucy's hands as she grabbed her wound and used an extreme close-up of her hand as she was being dragged away. We also used food colouring around where she had been stabbed. Therefore, we conformed to representations of a slasher genre by using blood. Passing over to Eve for more information.
This is Eve reporting on the common conventions of the slasher horror genre. In our opening scene, Silent Killer, here is some footage of Josh, the killer, following Lucy, the victim.
Don't forget that I'm the one who made you. The one who's always going to.
From research, we have found that the opening scene, Captive, contains shots of the victim being watched and stalked. From my blog entry of the deconstruction of this example, as you can see here, you can see images of camera angles that imply the common conventions of slasher horror films, where a victim is being watched, followed, or stalked by a killer. The use of mise-en-scene, such as the use of CCTV cameras, also implies that the victim is being stalked and watched, and also the use of flashbacks with point-of-view shots from the killer or kidnapper. I also carried out some research into the slasher horror films, as you can see here from my blog entry, where I have found multiple slasher films where the concept of the film is of the killer stalking or being obsessed with victims before brutally killing them. Some of the examples I found were Black Christmas and Prom Night, where people's eyeballs have been gouged out. I'm now going to pass over to Lucy.
Today I will be talking about how we subverted the typical quality of slasher genre in our opening scene of Silent Killer. In my deconstruction of the opening credits of the film Seven, I realised the music was scary / creepy all the way through, but had different climactic moments throughout. I thought the sound was effective, but did find the sound quite typical of a horror film, so had the idea of using a non-horror sound and making it creepy. With this idea in mind, we used a non-copyright pop song used contrapuntally with our shots. It is subverting the genre as the sound doesn't become scary or creepy until a killer is seen. This is effective as it makes the audience more shocked when the killer appears, as they weren't expecting it. It also builds up more suspense when the killer is seen until the end of the film opening, due to the layering of sound effects. Now I'm going to pass over to Josh for the last piece of information.
Thank you, Lucy. Yes, we did in fact conform to the conventions of an opening scene through the uses of showing a narrative and not showing the killer's face. This is particularly specific to the horror genre, and even more so to the subgenre of slasher, as seen in many previous film openings, such as Wrong Turn, Scream 4, and Halloween, which we heavily deconstructed. We took inspiration from the likes of Wrong Turn and The Hills Have Eyes 1 and 2, and decided not to show the killer's face, as you can see here.
Forget that I'm the one who made you. The one who's always going to crave you. Oh,
Thank you.